Gamers have been annoyed by greedy developers since the dawn of time, and seeing how, especially lately, more and more pay-to-win titles have made their way onto the market, we thought it would be a good idea to put together a video with 10 of the most money-grabbing games. This list includes games where you have to pay in order to progress faster, and also gaming series that release new titles yearly but with virtually the same content, the only purpose being to grab even more money from players. Players were left with a very bitter taste in their mouth back when Bungie released a new paid service that allowed players to pay $29.99 to raise a new character's level to 25 and max out a subclass. This new trend was considered extremely greedy and even dangerous in the long run because it made players feel like they've entered the vicious loop of pay-to-win games. And because of this reason, Destiny 1 has been considered a money-grabbing title by a large number of people. This franchise not only ported its mobile games to all imaginable platforms, but it also overflowed the market with all kinds of merchandise such as plushies, mugs, t-shirts, and all the other types of paraphernalia. Oh, and obviously let's not forget about the Angry Birds movie that was yet another means of cashing in some hefty bags of money. Rovio became one of the richest mobile game developers in the world, and we all know how they managed to do it. When EA introduced their famous system where players could pay with real money in order to get new weapons as opposed to spending time to craft them by themselves, fans got really irritated and felt betrayed by this money-grabbing technique. While this scheme might work for people who want to progress faster, it is more than obvious that it was introduced in Dead Space just to create a valid way for the publishers to make even more money and get rich fast. Upon its release, FARMVILLE seemed to be just another cute and free-to-play Facebook-based game, but soon enough we found out what a scamming bastard it truly was. In order to make any actual progress and feel like the gameplay has some purpose, you needed to buy a myriad of animals, buildings, and crops, and the worst thing is that you can't possibly continue the game without having to spend several of your hard-earned dollars on the game shop. The problem with the Madden NFL series is that it encompasses a huge amount of subpar games that are immediately bought by gamers because of the lack of better alternatives. Year after year, more and more titles appear, and each of them are very similar to their predecessor, with various bugs and glitches included, of course. So when we say that the Madden franchise is ruled by some really greedy people, EA, who want to make a huge profit and offer nothing in return, we are definitely on the right track here. The thing with The Sims is that they have so many expansions that it's virtually impossible to keep track of how many have been released until now. For example, The Sims 3 was released in 2006, and soon after no less than 11 expansions showed up on the market, and to top all of these, there were also 9 more stuff packs to choose from. We're not saying that these extra materials don't bring anything new to the game, but come on, it's obvious that they are created just to empower the consumerist trend. Train Simulator, of all things, is yet another video game series that releases annual gaming titles that don't necessarily add anything new to the previous gameplay experience. Besides the lack of iteration, if you were to buy all of the extra locomotives and routes, you'd have to pay around $3,000. You can very much tell what these publishers are thinking by the way they organise their business plan, and the team behind Train Simulator certainly knows how to turn the odds in their favour. Mobile games are notorious for wanting to grab as much money as possible from their players, and the famous Clash Royale is definitely no exception from this rule, offering you various chests that contain the valuable units you need to defeat other players. Of course, it's not impossible to play the game without investing any pennies, but the game constantly reminds you that for just a few dollars you'll be able to have much better troops and thus a bigger chance of winning. The paradox is that the Call of Duty franchise is both one of the most hated and the most loved franchises on the gaming market. People commenting about the developer's business model, but also standing in line for the newest titles. It's a well-known fact that Call of Duty releases new games almost annually, and they are doing it only for the money since the content is almost similar each and every time, offering basically the same gameplay while asking for more money, and that's why COD is known for pissing players off so often. Street Fighter Tekken was surrounded by a great degree of controversy back when it was first released, mainly because it did an unprecedented thing. Namely, it included characters that were already on the game's disc but could only be selected by paying some extra money. Players felt totally scammed by this system, quite rightly, because they had to pay for something that was completed before release and was basically already in their possession. Capcom had some kind of response to this awful stunt, but evidently nobody believed them, and that's why Street Fighter Tekken is still considered one of the most money-grabbing games of all time. This was our list featuring some of the most money-grabbing games on the market, and we hope you've enjoyed our video. If you did, please press that like button, as we do appreciate it and it helps us immensely. We often ask our audience for suggestions to compile these lists. If you'd like to contribute, please follow Frag Hero on Facebook. What other greedy, unfair titles did you play recently? Please do tell us in the comments below, because we do try to read pretty much everything. Now would also be a good time to encourage you to subscribe, because we upload new stuff all the time, so subscribing will keep you up to date with all of our latest videos. You can also check out fraghero.com for more gaming related articles, but until next time, thanks for watching and have a great day.